It is February 18th, 2025, and this is Hungover Handwrite. Chad Holbrink, Dylan Edwards, I'm Jonathan Sawyer. Welcome to the show. Not the busiest weekend in the world this past weekend in the world of MMA as far as events, but plenty of news. Got some results to talk about, and we even got a nice little fantasy tournament at the end of the show, potentially. So we're just going to get right into it. What do you think? Straight to the results?
Straight to the apex that
everyone
everyone loves.
The good old apex.
At least we didn't have a shitty heavyweight main event at the apex this time. It was middleweight. So
Yeah.
that's good. All right. UFC Fight Night, Cannonier versus Rodrigues. Let's start with, we'll just start from the bottom. Jacqueline Cavalcante kind of pieced up. Old Julia Avila retired
Pretty much beat her ass.
with the tons of fights, 9-4 record.
I feel like because Stipe didn't get a send-off, correct?
No.
No.
I mean, she didn't get a send-off per se, but she got to at least lay her gloves down in the cage and
Yeah.
retire.
Yeah, but Stipe didn't.
Did he not do that? He didn't do that either.
What?
Did he lay his gloves
No,
down?
didn't he
just
retire
walked-
like after the fact?
Yeah, he did. He did like a Instagram thing, but
Yeah.
I think he was out of the cage, or he was pretty messed up from that kick still.
Yeah. He could have made it a big deal and
Right.
himself.
Yeah.
And obviously they would have sent him off. I mean, they gave Karate Hottie a whole video. So
Right.
I think Stipe could get one too. Walter Walker, heel hook. Don'Tale Mays.
Sat down to a heel hook after after being on top.
Don'Tale Mays looks like
Sat down,
shit.
pulled the heel
Yeah.
hook.
I don't know. Is Walter Walker really good or is Don'Tale Mays?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I will say, when we were watching that fight, Walter did look like he was in really good shape, especially in comparison to Don'Tale Mays.
He's not like Johnny. He's a big dude that can grapple.
Yeah.
It's different. And at heavyweight, that's potentially pretty dangerous.
Mhm.
Elijah Smith, Gilbert Smith's son, beat Vince Morales
Kind of.
handily.
He did, but it was just kind of underwhelming
Yeah, it wasn't-
too.
it
Like
wasn't
he
great.
didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
He's only 22 years old, but
when
Yeah.
he got warmed up, like towards the later rounds, I was actually kind of surprised. He putting some good combos together, but he's still young. I mean, like it was against Morales, a guy who's, he was tough. He got beat up, but I don't know. We'll see with the Smith there.
First of the Bonfim brothers we're going to talk about, Gabriel, Darce Choke, Chaos Williams.
if you ask Paul Felder, the choke wasn't that tight.
Really?
Yeah,
You say that?
I don't think it's tight enough.
Meanwhile, Chaos is
like
Chaos's
eyes are in the
are-
back of the head.
It's like a Dominic Cruz-ism. That's so Cruz like, that's not in. And
He
he's asleep.
goes, "Well, I was wrong with that one."
Because it really didn't look like he thought he was. It looked like he was fighting it pretty well, and then all of a sudden, holy shit!
Yeah,
By the way, shout out to Herb Dean. I know we're not the biggest Herb Dean fans, but the arms were hidden under him.
it was tough.
And
Yeah,
you couldn't. I
he
don't
must
know
have
how
had a weird angle at his eyes or something.
he stopped it right at the right time. Javier Esteban moves to 13-0 against Jesus Aguilar. Not the most exciting style in the world, but he can take you down and maul you.
He
and
just kept taking him down,
Yeah.
taking him down, and Aguilar just. His corner was yelling at him to stop going for takedowns. He'd throw hands and get him up against the cage and shoot for a takedown.
Yeah.
It was just he practiced it, and
and
second
Esteban basically took the third round off, and
essentially.
Aguilar could have maybe put him away
Mhm.
with the hands, but
But I think he's just too tired by the end too.
yeah. Angie Overkill puts away another rising Brazilian
It's just,
split decision.
she's never gonna go away.
And
dude.
what was the stat on that? She had lost 6
I
previous,
think her last
split
6
decisions?
splits she had lost,
and then this is her first one.
Angela Hill did.
Yeah,
which really surprised me. I figured it'd be like she's won 6 in a row, split decisions.
Yeah.
It
Right.
seems like she's always in those. But Jose Delgado absolutely destroyed Connor Matthews.
yeah,
Gross.
He looked really good.
Yeah, and everyone's pretty high on him. We'll see. I think he likes to go to war a little bit.
Oh yeah,
So we'll see if
he
that-
was down for it, and he talked a lot of shit afterwards too. Like he not necessarily in a negative way, but he was just saying, "I'm here to be the best," and
Yeah.
let's see if he can back it up.
Andre Petroski kind of looked decent on the feet. Obviously Rodolfo Vieira not necessarily the greatest boxer, but
The two most jacked 85ers in the UFC.
yeah,
They looked, especially Rodolfo, he looked ridiculous in there.
yeah. Nazem Sadikov was losing first round. Didn't do a ton, which is kind of his MO.
Mm-hmm.
Lets him work, and then threw a question mark kick.
The kick was sick, but
Yeah.
was there like a language barrier issue in the corner with the doctor? And because I feel like it was Mark Smith, right?
Yes, and
Because
then they had that
he's
lady.
like, oh no, he said he can't see fight stop. I was like, whoa, let's get some clarification on that.
They had the lady. I forgot her name. It was the one. You remember that meme of Herb Dean looking at her ass and stuff in the back?
Mm-mm.
It was. She's like the cute looking older lady. I don't even remember her name. I wish I could.
She's like a commission person.
Maybe, but there's a meme about her. Like they caught Herb checking her out, and then she catches him, and he's like, "Hey,
oh
hey."
yeah, okay,
yeah."
okay.
It's that chick was translating, and she was like asking him, "Can you see?" And he was shaking his head yes, but he was saying no. And he was agreeing that I can't see.
But he was like pissed off afterwards too, though. Like
I know,
and they asked like if he could see and if he wanted to continue like back to back. Like it was super weird.
Yeah, it was weird, but I don't know, the body language at the time, it kind of made me think he wanted a way out, but didn't want to look.
The body
like
language.
he wanted a way out.
I don't know about the language barrier, but the body language was weird to me.
Yeah.
He was just kind of leaning up against the fence, like.
But he was winning, dude.
Yeah,
up until that point. I mean, that kick was disgusting, but.
And Sadikov, I'm a big Sadikov fan. I know you are too.
Mm-hmm.
But
he was getting blasted with kicks. Man.
He does that. He takes the first round off in a lot of his fights.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, we gotta fix that. But Edmund Shabazian back on track, or I guess I don't know, back on track, but seems like he does a lot of losing in the UFC. But yeah, he killed Dylan Budka. Falls to 7-5.
That's tough.
So he's probably
on his way out.
See, guys like that, man. I forget how old Dylan Budka is, but. I think you got to hang out on the regional scene just for a little while.
Yeah.
You're only 25. I mean, come on.
3-fight losing streak. 0-3.
3-1 LFA. Mm-hmm. I think he just rushed it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys do, but
you
got to take your opportunity when you get it. I understand.
Yeah,
but,
and that's, I don't know if you remember, but on the Contender Series, you had a really horrifically boring fight.
All right.
And Dana was like, well, I think it was the other guy's fault.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I think you need to fight up a weight class, and we're going to give you a chance.
Uh-huh.
I was like, man, Dana feeling nice today. Eustace Villalal ran around.
Yeah, he was on his bike a lot.
The third round especially.
Yes.
But also at the same time, hey, Cater hit something.
Yeah.
He missed so many times. I mean, he was trying. I'll give him. He knew he was down 2 rounds, and he was trying, but fuck, man.
You could see how frustrated he was.
Cater could not touch him.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna talk about a different New England cartel guy later, but it seems like some of these New England cartel guys, like Connor Matthews, another one, that they're great boxers, but they get hit quite a bit sometimes, and in this case, the boxing doesn't work. Like people can figure them out.
Cater was busted up, man.
And then main event, Jared Cannonier.
Still doing
the best looking 40-year-old the UFC's had in a while.
Ageless wonder. Dude.
Not named Black Beast.
Now, yes, let's give some credit to Cannonier, but RoboCop trained for like a half a round, it looked like. I mean,
he was tired.
Was dead.
Literally.
The first round,
he looked like he was dead.
The first round I thought was going to get ugly for Cannonier because
Yeah.
he can take an ass whooping. I thought he was going to get his ass. But the cardio thing, after round 2, I was like, oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
RoboCop he's gassing bad, and we got 3 more rounds left.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at least in the UFC, never been in a 5-rounder, obviously, but I mean, hardly ever in a 2-rounder in the UFC.
Right.
I mean, he's either getting iced out or he's icing somebody out.
Cannonier, that makes you think about what was the controversial stoppage with Herzog?
Imavov.
That makes you go back to that fight. Was that an early stoppage? Because Cannonier recovered.
A lot of people were talking about
but he
that.
recovered fucking well against RoboCop.
Yeah, regardless. I mean, that was early.
Yeah. More and more after that fight and then going back to the other
Right.
one. This looks like a shittier stoppage.
Cannonier, dude, even at 40, he looked good in there.
And I love the fact that he's like, I understand the predicament I'm in. All the guys ahead of me, the 4 guys above me, have all beaten me.
Is he the number 5?
Who's that?
Yeah.
Cannonier?
I believe so, yes.
Is that what it is?
I think
Either
was
way,
saying it. Yeah,
whether he's 5 to 10, that's still fucking impressive.
Oh, yeah. And he kept saying, I don't want to be the gatekeeper. He's like, I'm not a gatekeeper. I want to win a championship. But
Man, I listened to more of his interviews before and after this fight than I usually do, and his attitude is weird to me. Like,
yeah,
he's kind of, I don't know, he's kind of a little bit of a dick to the media sometimes.
Number 7.
Oh, is he 7?
And saying he's not a gatekeeper is kind of insane to me.
I think
you're 40. I mean,
you could still. I think you could call him a gatekeeper, but I think 7 is a pretty high-ranked gatekeeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he obviously doesn't want to be a gatekeeper.
I think a gatekeeper
that,
is reserved for the guys trying to get into the top 10. That's what I consider.
Yeah, I think it can. I mean,
top 10, he probably still makes the cut, but
yeah. I don't know. We'll see where he goes from here.
I thought RoboCop was gonna.
He's lost to a lot of the guys above him.
I think he's 7, and he's lost to 4 of them, except for Hamzat and what was it?
I don't think. I mean, he's not going
Dricus.
He's not going on a title run anytime soon.
No.
Yeah. No. But I love his attitude towards it. He looks great. I mean, he can take an ass whooping and still go for it.
Yeah, look at the guys below him, man. They're all. I mean,
if old Fluffy gets a win, we think maybe they go Fluffy.
Maybe.
Or Brendan Allen. All right, let's move on. Tough Enough. Like I said, there are not a lot of events this weekend, or at least like upper echelon events. Tough Enough was supposed to be a guy that Dylan's gonna tell us about later. Eric McConaughey's main event, and he was fighting a guy.
I believe he's 3-0 in Tough Enough,
probably,
or 3-1.
This Wallace guy, I don't have it off the top of my head, but he fought on the Contender Series back in the day, I know. But yeah, Tough Enough happened, and then Levels Fight League 16 was yesterday in Amsterdam. The only reason I have this on here is because a guy that I really liked in the UFC, who they released, Jarno Aarons. This was his first fight since being released. And man, he was playing with fire in this one. He fought a Brazilian who wanted to grapple, and he played the grappling game with him quite a bit and probably should not have won this. And I'm talking about Caio Machado, who has fought some decent guys on his,
Chao Machado.
Chao. Has some decent losses on his resume as well, but Aarons was just clinching, grappling with him way too much, and probably should have lost, but won a split in his hometown. Who would have thought? Other than that, that's it for the events from this past weekend. Bunch of news to talk about. You ready?
Ready.
News team, assemble!
All right. First up, Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes, March 8th, UFC 313.
Tarantula.
Good one. That's a good one. Bahamondes, obviously, kind of been on like the slow come up for quite a while now. Slowly creeping his way up there. Gets the 13th ranked.
Where's he at now? Bahamondes, he's not even up there.
He's not ranked. No, he's not ranked.
God, I think that's crazy. Turner is at 13, dude. 55 is just stacked as fuck.
Yeah.
And it always will be.
And like we've talked about a lot, they don't fight.
But again, yeah, they don't fight. But again, a lot of those guys are probably going to be aging out here in the next year to 2-3 years.
Yeah, that's another thing we've been saying for a long time.
That is a good point, too, yeah.
Josh Emmett versus...
Dustin for sure, though.
Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy, main event, April 5th.
That's going to be a good
That's a big
fight.
test.
That's a banger.
Yeah, April 5th. What is that? That's a fight night. Vegas, UFC Vegas 105. Yeah, Murphy, he's a guy that I used to not, I'm not going to say I didn't believe in him, but I just wasn't real sold on him yet. Mm-hmm. And then he's just keeps getting it done and keeps kind of looking better every time. Chad, it's your boy. Anthony Smith.
Zhang.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Ming Yang Zhang versus Anthony Smith.
TJ Dillashaw's favorite fighter.
UFC Kansas City, April 26th.
Anthony Smith just keeps doing it, man. And he's going to fight a young killer.
This might be the one that actually does him in, like, for good.
Maybe.
Well, it's going to be his retirement fight.
Yeah.
Oh, it actually is?
I think they've said that, yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, I want him to be done, too. I mean, props to him. And I know, like, I don't know if you guys saw it. King Green, Bobby Green.
I watched that today.
He was out defending Anthony Smith about his lion heart.
I like it.
Yeah, I like that.
And then
obviously he's not soft.
You got a guy that cheated to the belt talking about heart.
Yeah, I don't.
You pussy.
I mean, the whole different story here, but I don't know why TJ's really going after him. I mean,
it is weird. Anthony does say some weird shit every once in a while, but that's just what he does.
If I'm a former world champion, I'm not going to go after a guy on the internet. If I got in trouble for cheating, like what I'm saying. If I'm like us or some idiot on the internet, I would.
Like if he didn't cheat and it was like, that never happened, he's like punching down, but he's almost kind of like punching up at Anthony Smith because he is like known as the cheater guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. This is basically
the whole thing's fucking weird.
Did the UFC say, "Hey, you're from Omaha, retire or in Kansas City, or we're not giving you any more fights"?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's possible.
And also, you're gonna put over fucking Zhang.
Yep.
Have fun.
Yep. We'll see. I mean,
we're just gonna keep throwing you these guys.
He could fucking just guillotine him.
He could just walk right in and hand him his neck. But.
Zhang's another guy that he's young and he gets a little excited and wants to just rock 'em, sock 'em robots.
It'd be hilarious if Anthony pulled it off, but I don't see it.
Yana Santos versus Misha Tate.
We just talked about her not fighting for 100 years.
Yeah. What is this?
This is some GFL matchmaking.
That's hilarious.
When is this supposed to be? It says May. Oh, May 3rd, I think. This is the card that's apparently in Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines?
May 3rd.
Really?
Yep. Apparently...
That's going to be it.
Now, we're getting into a little bit of like rumor mill here, but apparently Whitaker Baralho targeted.
I like that.
May 2025, but again, take this with a grain of salt. I'm not going to say who posted it. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
With Izzy more or less out of the picture, could Whitaker creep up back into title contention, do we think?
He could. I mean...
Because Izzy hasn't said he's done, but I mean...
Whitaker's 5.
And what? Izzy's
Izzy,
4?
Kamzat, Strickland, Imavov.
No talks about it on Tapology, but...
I mean, I think if Whitaker beats Baralho, that definitely...
Because Whitaker's
that's
still...
big.
Whitaker's like fairly young still.
Yeah.
Was he 33, 4? If that? I can't remember.
35 or so, but...
No, because I think we've talked about this before. He's...
Probably like 28.
Yeah, like... He got in pretty young. 34.
Yeah. December. Yeah, I don't know. I think that makes a lot of sense. We'll see what... I mean, if Izzy goes away, that obviously makes everyone's path a little shorter.
And then you got Kamzat kind of holding up the whole division.
Yeah, and that may go on forever. I mean...
Sean's out as long as Duplessis still champ.
I guess we can go ahead and... This is another rumor mill. Drickus versus Kamzat, UFC 320, Abu Dhabi, potentially.
I mean, Dana did say Kamzat's next.
Yeah.
So...
It's just a matter of like...
Who did?
Dana did.
Yeah.
That was after
Drickus?
the Strickland fight.
I mean, they've pretty much confirmed it, but it's just a matter of like... I'm not worried about Drickus getting in there and doing it.
But
I'm worried
where
about
is it
Kamzat.
going to be? And then can you trust Kamzat to get there?
I hate that shit.
Abu Dhabi makes...
I hope it happens, and I
sense.
hope Drickus smashes the fuck out of it. In his very dumb-looking ways.
So, what's up with this UFC 314 main event? I mean, where... That's in Miami, and it's not too far away.
Right there.
April 12th. Decent, sometime, obviously, but there's Oliveira, Sarukian 2 rumors. I guess I shouldn't say main event, because it's, as of now, the main event is Pantoja, Kai Kara France.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're obviously going to probably want another one above that. So there's rumors of Oliveira, Sarukian. There's rumors of Ilya and Volk.
I was going to say it'd have to be a title fight to be above those guys.
Yeah, but
Ilya Volk.
And Ilya said late last week, I believe, that he has a announcement for a fight coming this week, or it could come this week. So I feel like
I think Ilya wants to go up to 55.
Yeah, I know, and that's what's weird about everything going on with
Ilya. He
Ilya.
needs to go up there, do that, fuck off, and then
Makhachev said that he had something too, and it was going to be
who?
Makhachev, Islam.
No,
he said that he was going to disclose it soon. So maybe that's what they're hinting at.
Ilya
Maybe.
needs to go
Fucking
up.
nuts.
Volk needs to fight
I mean,
Diego Lopez for the vacant.
yeah. I mean, it could be this Abu Dhabi card they're talking about. But 1 year ago today, Ilya KO'd
I saw
Volk.
that today too,
Yeah.
and the person that posted it, someone reposted it and said, "Take this the fuck down."
I mean, moving on to a bigger fight. Rashad Evans versus Rampage boxing in April. Do we care?
This has been talked about for a while, and Rampage on his podcast kind of alluded to it's booked now, but at the time he was like, I don't know, we might do it. It was like very seriously being talked about. This was like a month ago, and he was like kind of iffy about it. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well,
But apparently it's happening now.
yeah,
And yeah, like he said, so they're like homies now.
Yeah, they're like bros.
Yeah.
And Rashad's all like zenned out and shit.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson were bros, so you can definitely you can box for some money. And I don't think either of them are.
Rampage is 47 years old, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think either of them. Not that they can't knock each other out, but like it's not like it used to be. With
I bet
either
they
of
both
them.
still got some pop.
Yeah, they do.
It'll be better than your Mike Tyson fight. I
Yeah,
think.
probably, yeah.
But they'll probably be a little nice to each other.
Think so?
Probably.
God,
I mean, if
hope
they're
not.
buddies.
It's just a hard spar.
yeah.
Stupid.
I don't even know what it didn't say what card it's on. What to look into that, like what
Promotion.
What, promotion, yeah. But probably Triller or
Be
something.
something on DAZN or some shit.
All right, Chad John Jones on Instagram Live.
Yeah, that video was kind of fucking dark. You know, like 3 a.m, you're walking down the street. He's apparently was on vacation or something.
I think he just goes off and does that every once in a while. You just got to turn him loose, let him do his
Maybe.
weird shit,
Hide
and then
his phone.
But the
And then
things
he-
he
yeah,
said was
take his
like,
phone
weird.
next time.
He said, "You go on a trip, and then he mumbles something that you can't pick up, and then he goes, as a dad, disappointed, you just want to kill him." That's literally all he says, and then he's like mumbles something else and struggles to turn his phone off.
Was this on like Instagram Live or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had deleted it afterwards, but
Someone grabbed that shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
real fast.
People are fast with that.
Yeah.
Alexander Usyk or Alexander Usyk says he wants to fight Pereira for his retirement fight.
Why?
I don't know. The reason I put this on here, I mean, is that even possible for them to fight each other?
There's no fucking way Dana would allow that to happen.
Connor,
Yeah, but
but look at him now.
right. I think you do that if Pereira wants to, after Pereira's done. After he retires.
yeah, he's
from the
probably
UFC.
not even going to entertain.
No,
it
that's
now.
dumb as hell.
That could be a thing.
Usyk,
Usyk
you
wants to
dumbass.
do it because he's probably seen a lot of the Pereira's sparring videos with, boxers,
And just the hype. I mean,
exactly.
You know,
the
it's
hype,
gonna
the
be
money.
big.
Yeah, it would be a big fight.
and that left hook is much less dangerous with 16-ounce
Yeah.
gloves on.
Right.
Drickus versus Combs. I already talked about that one. GFL. Speaking of middleweights, GFL's announced some fights. And for those who don't know, we're talking about the Global Fight League, the new.
Combined age of damn near 100. Fabricio Verdun versus Frank
Well,
Mir.
Yeah, okay, we'll start
So
with
you're
that.
sorry. I didn't know if you're going.
I was gonna start with middleweights, but yeah, Verdum, Mir. Now,
scroll down to a couple comments.
none of these are. There's no dates on any of these, but
This fight would have been amazing 15 years ago.
But this whole thing is, if you don't know, it's a teams thing. There's 6 teams, and they're doing every event is going to be like one team versus the other team.
But the teams don't train together. The coaches don't
No.
coach all of them.
and the league owns the teams,
I think
and they make trades according to what matchups they want to make.
I think it's a cool idea.
It's fine. It'd be cool if they had like people that owned the teams and like basically a reason for us to care about the teams. But
Right,
when the
yeah.
league can trade anybody to whoever
Just to
at any
make a
time,
fight.
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, what's the teams?
Yeah,
Right,
what's
exactly.
the point of the team? Yeah.
Yeah. Middleweights, Uriah Hall, Douglas Lima. That might be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rye Hall's got to be up there in age 2
Yeah.
now.
Lima. I mean,
He boxed Le'Veon Bell.
I'm assuming I would
Right?
favor
I
Lima
think-
quite
Was
a
it
bit.
Le'Veon?
I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was. I'm assuming I'd favor Lima quite a bit in that one, but it's I don't
And-
know. It's hard to say.
This is a tough one for
Shogun, Yoel Romero.
Dude, Shogun, he might actually get killed in there.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Romero could be 45 or he could be 65. Either way, the guy is still an animal.
Yeah.
And he killed that guy in the boxing ring.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that
poor bastard.
bare knuckle thing was, it wasn't even televised.
It was a private event.
It's like Mike Perry.
It was Perry shit.
Yeah.
Someone recorded it on a fucking cell phone, and that's all we got to see of it.
It was like a soft launch private event thing.
That's so have fights, but don't put them on TV and make money off of them. Like I don't understand that. But the rematch we've all been waiting for: Weidman versus Rockhold.
I think this comes down to who's in the better shape, and that is Luke Rockhold, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Weidman looked a little slow in there recently.
Definitely, but he also
Rockhold had that chin though.
Yeah, but Weidman ain't gonna touch that shit.
Weidman's been fighting, obviously, in the UFC much more recently than Rockhold.
Weird.
I'm rooting for Weidman personally, but
25 minutes in already.
Okay. All right, let's get it moving. PFL, they've announced some of their tournaments. Like they're doing different. Their tournament's different now. It's like half the money. It's $500,000 now to win. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, what?
Running out of money, huh?
And they've only announced 2 weight classes: welterweights.
Man, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I mean it's because they're trying to get all these Bellator guys fights, and I don't know. I think that the tournament format's just not really working for them as well as
I like the tournament shit. I think it's cool.
I don't mind it. I mean, Andrei Korshkov's a decent name at welterweight. Jason Jackson, Magomed Umilatov, Muhammad Berkamov, Logan Storley, and then this guy Dylan, the Ultimate Fighter last season.
Yes,
Giannis,
got knocked the hell out by Robbie.
Yeah, Giannis Bakar
with an elbow.
Felt bad for him,
and he was upset.
Yeah.
He got drunk and said he was going to kill him. He was like, I want to fight you right now. You crushed my dreams. Fight me in the kitchen.
Who would ever get drunk and fight? And then featherweights, Jeremy Kennedy, Gabriel Braga, Moblid Kabulayev, Damon Jackson flying near. Nathan Kelly, Yves Landu, I'm not familiar. Adam Borix, he's a Bellator guy for a long time. Jesus Pinedo. So that's the 2 tournaments, and honestly, I don't know exactly what's going on with the turn. Like if they're only doing 2 or how many they're doing, I have no idea. But Ultimate Fighter rosters, they put those out. We're not going to go through it, but I mean,
there might be 3 Americans total.
I don't even think there's 3.
Well, you saw
flyweights and welterweights.
Yeah,
you saw the thing with the Ultimate Fighter that Cormier and Chael had been talking that they have. Chael has Colby Covington as one of his coaches, and Daniel's got. Why am I going blank now?
Usman?
No, it's wow. I just went completely blank.
We'll come back to you. And then we'll just a couple more here. One more news story here. I just saw this graphic on Instagram. It was 10 fighters so far this year have lost their O's.
That's
in
pretty wild.
The UFC.
That's pretty wild stat.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the big names. Umar, that's a big one. 18-1 now.
Got handled, dude.
Peyton Talbot.
Got handled.
Renya Nakamura. Shara Bullet. Tatiana Suarez. All lost their O's. There's 3 on this past card.
Yeah.
Or 2 cards ago in Australia. Tatiana Suarez, Colby Thickness, Cody Steele.
He was trying, though.
Yeah.
He was letting them hang.
And then, as per usual, C-Rod kills off another prospect.
Yeah.
Austin Bashi, 13-1 now. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. I mean, we're only...
Peyton lost his 0 as a minus 1,200.
See how many of them bounce back from it. Normally, a 0 can kill you, or get losing at 0 can kill you, or, you just rise above.
I think it's good for them. They don't hold on to it anymore.
Yeah.
But I think... I don't have a stat on this, obviously, but I'd say little over 2 months in, having 10 UFC guys lose their O is probably a record. I mean,
yeah,
probably
that's a lot. So
before March.
All right.
The guy Colby Covington is on Chael's side. Michael Chiesa is on Cormier's side, and they said, "Why don't Chael and I just coach these guys, and then our coaches can fight each other. These two can fight each other at the end.
That makes sense. I mean, I think I know who I would definitely pick to win that, but they're both.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So. All right, ready to get into the UFC?
Oh, yeah.
Similar, and we didn't mention this with the last card. The last card was a disaster with cancellations.
Yeah.
But this one said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, 100%.
And this is going down in Seattle, obviously at Climate Pledge Arena, home of the Seattle Kraken of the National Hockey League. But tons and tons and tons and tons of canceled fights.
Holy.
Drop
1,
like
2,
flies.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the Eds Barboza Mean Machine one really pissed me off.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that was what, last week.
That was going to be awesome.
I think literally 2 days ago.
Yep, that one just dropped.
Adam Fugit and Billy Ray Goff. Notable names: Caitlin Vieira versus Macy Chason,
and also Dominic Cruz forced retirement.
And we should definitely give Dominic Cruz a shout out because he called it quits after.
That sucks, man.
His shoulder
looked
again.
Fine though. Like, why couldn't he have fought?
Do what TJ did and have it pop out 3 times.
Yeah.
Against Aljo.
He said TJ reached out to him and
Yeah.
sent him a bunch of a surgeon that worked on him.
I'm just tired.
But TJ also can't lift his arm further than this. So you want to go to that
That's
surgeon?
karma.
or not?
That's karma.
All right, so prelim storyline. I'm going to start on this one. So when I was looking through these prelims, and this was before probably half of the withdrawals and half of the additions, but I was looking through these prelims, and I was like, man, there is a lot of guys that have been in the UFC for a long time, fighting guys that have been in the UFC for not a long time. And the fights I'm really referring to, Ion Kudalaba versus Ibo Aslan, Modestas Bukauskas versus Rafael Sequeira, Ricky Simone versus Javid Basharat, Andre Fili versus Melky Costa. The A side of those combined 61 UFC appearances.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
B side 14.
That's crazy.
And you know, typically in a lot of cases when we see these young versus old type of matchups, or you know, vets versus newbies, the UFC typically kind of likes the younger guy to win.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're kind of setting them up to win. But these matchups I'm talking about here, I don't know how much they really are worried about it. I think Javid Basharat, they obviously like the Basharat brothers. And then Ibo Aslan has, I mean, literally all his pro wins or finishes. So they would probably like them to win. And if they do, I'd say Ricky Simone and Kudalaba might be on the chopping block if that does happen. But so, and then obviously this is the prelim storyline, so I'm not going to go into the main card, but we're definitely going to talk about a couple old versus young, newbies versus UFC vets on the main card as well. Dylan?
I'm going.
Yep.
Zoltan. There's Zoltan. Ruzaboev. Fighting an unknown.
Yeah.
Eric McConaughey. And he's already 34 years old.
Jeez.
Which he's got a good record. He's 9-2-1. 5-fight win streak currently. Can you King of the Cage 3-1. What was the other one where he's undefeated? Tough Enough. 3-0 and Tough Enough. So he's following some well-known promotions. 1-0 LFA. He's just kind of, from what I've seen, there's not a ton out there on him, honestly. Nothing recently anyways that I could find, but he's just kind of good everywhere.
Yeah.
He liked to clinch up against fence and whatnot, but trains with Cannonier at the lab.
That explains it.
MMA lab. Which is cool. But I just found it weird that they're throwing Ruzaboev so far down on the card after, I don't know if I want to say fraud checked against Buckley, but that's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I feel like he had a lot of hype coming in the UFC. Getting 2 finishes, one against Bruno Ferreira and Dumas. I mean, that's another solid win. The 6'5" welterweight.
Yeah.
You know, with a crazy record. Look at his record. He's got like 20 sub wins, 12 TKO KOs.
34-9-2.
That's insane. And then Buckley just turns into a wrestler and handles him.
20 sub wins for Sultan.
With ease. But I think it's odd that he took this fight, but I think it's odd that they also gave it to him.
And to add to it being odd, it's not, he wasn't like supposed to be on this card.
Zoltan?
He was canceled. He had a fight canceled October 2024. So it's not like this is a short notice replacement
Right.
for a fight that he was already supposed to be having.
Right.
So
another quick little fun fact. Zoltan, Sultan. 6'5", 76-inch reach. Double check me on that.
Yeah.
76. McConaughey is 6 foot tall, 75-inch reach. Only an inch difference there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. McConaughey is just, we don't know. I mean, he's fought. His record is good, but the guys he fought have a decent, a lot of fights.
His best win is coconut bombs, probably.
I think that's
Monkey
pretty
Patolo.
respectable.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's hard to tell with these guys on the regional scene, for me anyways, until you see them under the bright lights against that's a hell of a debut right there, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
yeah. All right, Chad.
90 down a windy road.
All right. Yeah, mine is just really UFC vet here. Andre Touchy Feely. I mean, been a fan of this guy. He's been in the game for a hot minute. Been doing the damn thing for, I think he started when he was 19.
When was his UFC debut? Just out of curiosity.
I have it written down here.
2013, October 19th.
2013.
Dude, he's been in the UFC for 12 years.
Yeah. And, to go from how he grew up, which is pretty dark. He's got some dark shit going on back in the day with his mom and pop, getting, dad beating on mom and mom beating on him, after pop's in prison and all that stuff. And
shout out to Sean Strickland.
yeah. And then he just decided he was, put on parole because he was getting in fights and stuff, and decided that he was going to join
a gang.
Not the gang.
A band.
He joined Team Alpha Male. He joined Team Alpha Male, and his PO said that was his work. So he literally could only drive from home to the gym. And
it's a pretty sick PO.
Yeah. So he ended up training there. And
like the gray area.
I love his story just because he said that they saved his life. All the guys there. He said he has so much love for Faber there, and the way Faber took him in and treated him like he was one of the guys just instantly. So it changed his life around, and he goes in and becomes a pretty dang good guy, pretty dang good prospect, and fought everybody.
He's got sick tats.
Sick tats, and he loves big booty Latinos.
And he rides Harleys.
And he's got a band.
Yeah.
And
Born Breach.
And he raps.
He raps. He's like a hardcore guy.
Yeah. They just released a single in 2024 called Bad Vibes.
Pull it up.
I listened to it. I listened to it. It's all right. No, it's really, I just look at this just as like an appreciation for our guy, because I just think that he deserves it. He's been doing it. He said he had struggled with mental issues on hating himself when he was fighting, and then he finally just started loving himself and treating himself nicer, and he started training better, feeling better, and I don't know. I feel like he needs to get his flowers, because most guys around here, don't. So I think I wanted to give you a shout out and say we're big fans around here. At least I am. And I did not know that Megan O'Leary had given him his nickname, Touchy.
Me neither.
She apparently tweeted it out, tagged him and everything. And he said that's funny because when I was in middle school, they used to call me Touchy Feely.
So this was like once he was already in the UFC?
He was already fighting.
Wow.
That's funny.
And he just rode with it, and it's been it ever since. So I thought that was pretty cool. And, still got gas left in the tank from his, previous fights. Obviously, he's fighting some killers and everything like that.
34 still,
Yeah. 12-10 in the UFC, that's a lot of fucking UFC
24th UFC appearance on Saturday.
Yeah, that's wild.
And I like his chances against Melky. I think he can get it done.
Oh, I agree, too. I would pick him in that. So I want to give him his flowers, and a shout out to you, man.
It literally tells us next to the UFC 2013 to 2014 right there. Or to 2024.
Yeah.
Never saw that. We always fucking scroll down and look at their...
Yeah. I just scroll just for fun. Learn something new every day. All right, on to the main card. So, as we've touched on earlier, tons of changes to this. I mean, this has been swapped around, this guy off, this guy on. We're going to talk about this slightly out of order, just so we don't have to go back to back. But I'm going to go first. Main card, Rob Font versus Jan Matsumoto. Obviously, Rob Font is supposed to fight Dominic Cruz here. So he's coming in here with a camp still. I don't know, because this was added quite a bit after Cruz was off. So I don't know if Font stayed ready or how this worked.
I'm surely, right? They'll be like, hey, we'll find you somebody.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to deal with whoever the hell it is.
And they must have went through everybody, because Matsumoto, he was already supposed to be on a card in, when was it? Supposed to fight on Chris Gutierrez, 313, March 8th. So they probably tried to get all these guys a short notice come in here, that didn't have a fight booked, and they were like, well, we got to go find somebody else. So they went and pulled him off of UFC 313, and obviously we know Rob Font, but kind of like Chad did with Feely, I'm gonna give him his flowers a little bit here, because he's all over the bantamweight record books. I mean, he's all over it. Tied with Faber and Dillashaw, 5th all time in total fights, 17. Tied with Faber and Merab, 5th all time in bantamweight wins, 11. Tied with Faber, 3rd all time bantamweight finishes, 7. Tied with Cheeto and Sean O'Malley, 2nd all time bantamweight KO TKO wins, 6. Tied with Cheeto, 4th all time in bonuses, 6. 9th in total fight time at bantamweight, 3 hours 28 minutes 6 seconds.
It's all right.
2nd in all time bantamweight strikes landed, 1,258, and he's on the record books by fight. He's all over that too, especially with the Cody Garbrandt fight for one. But the Cheeto fight is weird, because he literally most significant strikes landed in a bantamweight fight against Cheeto, and he lost. And he got dropped 3 times and lost the decision.
Fuck.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, we all know that what he struggles with, it's the wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And last time against Kyler Phillips, Kyler Phillips got the takedown early in the first round, held him down for a while. Second round, it was a lot harder to hold him down, and then all of a sudden Kyler Phillips is tired, and Rob Font does what Rob Font does and took over and gave him a vet lesson. And I personally kind of think that there's a good chance that this could be a vet lesson as well for Matsumoto.
Those are my favorite.
Because, again, Font struggles with the wrestling, but Matsumoto's according to John Gooden, a South American Muay Thai champion. I don't know what exactly that means.
Didn't know that was a thing.
No. But, and, for a Muay Thai champion, to me, from what I've seen, his best attributes aren't his actual Muay Thai. It's toughness, durability, willingness to bang. That's kind of what he's good at. And I think it's going to take a little more than that to beat Rob Font, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, I don't think Matsumoto's been taken down a bunch in the UFC himself, 9 times against Dan Argueta. So, not that I'm not 100% picking Rob Font, but I do think this could be another vet lesson right here. I mean, Matsumoto, yes, he's 16-0, but this is a little different level than he's faced up to this point. So, that's it for me, Dylan.
Play it.
Hey, you know I got the juice, man.
Julius Juicebox Walker,
Springfield's own.
Let's go.
Springfield Mo, making the debut against a guy everyone's probably heard of, longtime UFC vet Alonzo Minifield, who shaky last couple fights, 2 straight knockout losses, 1 to my man crush Black Jag.
Quickly,
very quickly, like what? 20 seconds? 17 seconds?
It was like 30 something, I think.
Something like that.
12.
12.
Yeah, 30 was T-Rex that night.
And then my homie
Ribovics.
my homie Azamat took care of him after that.
Azamat's underrated.
This is an obvious step up for Julius.
Yep.
Obvious step up. Fighting the regional circuit. He is a title holder for Synergy. Shout out. Synergy FC, Zach Cummings.
Yep.
Promotion.
Shout out.
I want to say Julius might also be the heavyweight champ for that. Maybe. I could be wrong.
He's definitely has some heavyweight wins.
And that's another thing. He's he can beef up, bang with the big boys, but again, regional circuit. But he's a 205er.
Yeah.
He looks good
Mhm.
there.
Definitely.
He wants to take you down and beat the shit out of you and either grab a hold of your neck or a limb. Doesn't matter. He'll grab it.
Kind of an old school ground and pound guy.
He got 2 submission wins, rear naked choke, and one is a triangle. His ground game, I think, might surprise a couple of these guys for being a 205er because you don't see many 205ers with like kind of a slick ground game.
And that was a slick transition.
It
that he
was
had.
too. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man. I think he might, if he does get put on his back, he might kind of shock you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a purple belt that I know we were talking about that the other day. It is a purple belt. He said it. Yeah.
Okay. Alonzo, I mean, with that being said, Julius wanting to take you down. Alonzo's got a really good takedown D. I want to say it's 76% is what I saw, which is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Another interesting stat is he gives and receives almost 4 significant strikes per minute, which I don't know how to take that. Whenever I saw him land 4 significant strikes per minute, I was like, oh, that's pretty. I thought it was pretty high for Benefield being a 205er.
Yeah.
But then I also saw that he eats almost 4.
Yeah,
per
and
minute.
I think that's you'd probably be surprised at how many guys are like close on the numbers received and given. I don't know why it always works out like that, but
I'm excited for this one. We're all excited for this. We're all going to be watching.
Oh yeah.
I think this fight takes place in the clinch and who can land a takedown first, because Benefield does land some takedowns, not a ton, but he will take you down.
Julius is 4 inches taller.
Julius is 6'4" as well.
Yeah.
Only 25. God damn, I'm a loser, dude. That is crazy, man.
Also on Tapology, his fighting style literally says foundation style, ninja shit.
Oh yeah.
It has his college on there and shit. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Like I said, I think it's going to take place in the clinch up against the fence. Probably one of those. I doubt Julius will want to try to bang with him. I could be wrong on that.
Benefield's a little underrated in the boxing, I think.
He packs a punch, man.
Mhm. He's a big dude. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got the height disadvantage, but
I'm curious to see how Julius sizes up with Lonzo, because Lonzo is obviously a really big dude.
Mhm.
But Julius being 6'4", he's going to look a little leaner, I think, which
Mhm.
might kind of be deceiving because
And-
he might look like the leaner, smaller guy, but he's going to have some height on him.
Julius was in a camp, correct?
Yeah, he was fighting. He was supposed to be the main event for Synergy. We forget the date.
It wasn't this weekend, but it was coming up.
I think
Probably
it was
2
the
weeks
one
or something.
after. Yeah.
3 weeks. So he's not off the couch, basically.
Our boy Austin Clem's going to be in the corner.
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's fucking go.
yeah, we're pulling for you, Julius.
Just straight to the deep end for Julius in an arena.
But again,
First
man,
fight, Benefield, 15th ranked guy.
he's 6-0. He's a title holder. He's 25. It's not like he's 19, 20,
No.
21 years old.
He's beat 2 guys that have UFC experience and
Exactly.
one with Glory kickboxing experience in a
Mhm.
row. So
And fucking took care of him in the first round.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's fought complete cans the entire time.
Yeah.
But
all right, back to me. Again, we're out of order a little bit here, but Gian Silva versus Melsik Bagdasaryan. This is going to take place on the feet, 100%.
Mhm.
And I'm really excited about it because, we'll start with Melsik Bagdasaryan. 8-2 in MMA, 3-0 pro boxing, 9-2 kickboxing, and he was in the 2017 K1 welterweight Grand Prix. Won his first fight, and then something that people who have visited his Tapology page have probably gotten used to seeing, he pulled out of the second fight in the tournament. So then he comes to the UFC and does a lot more pulling out of fights. He's 3-1 in the UFC. He's had 4 of them happen. He's had 6 of them canceled.
damn.
Jeez.
So 4 of them were him pulling out of the fight too.
Just for injuries or
Yeah, and,
a
yeah.
mix of things.
I mean, sometimes when Tapology it says like so and so withdrew, they don't always say the
Oh, okay.
injury, but I don't know exactly what they all were. But and obviously being a kickboxer, you'd expect really good kicks. He does have that. He's a southpaw who rips that rear body kick. He fights a lot of orthodox guys. My biggest worry for him against John Silva is just being a little too one-dimensional.
Mhm.
He rips that body kick pretty well, but doesn't seem to have a lot with the hands. Doesn't seem real fast, kind of on the slower side.
So is a fucking dog too.
And Silva, I love this guy, man. I mean, we're talking about speed. he's got it, and he cracks.
He does crack.
Obviously, last time out, he fought Drew Dober on short notice in Denver. Ouch.
Yeah.
Dober's a weight class heavier than him, so speed was a lot more defined.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the speed was a big difference. Obviously, 45ers, in theory, you're going to be faster than Drew Dober, but just really beat Drew Dober's ass. And Silva likes guys that come to him, and Dober said, "I will do that."
Yeah,
and he
happy to oblige.
Bounced his way into range and paid for
I'm
it.
going to do that.
And the weird thing, they were an open stance, which and we got open stance in this fight as well. And Silva kept hitting him with the check left hook, which is you don't see as much in open stance. Over and over, check left hook, to the point where he literally broke his hand, and then he started beating him up with the right hand. But, it's again, Silva needs you to come at him, and I don't know if Bagdasarian's going to do that really, but I just think the speed and the skill difference is too big, and I don't know. I think open stance helps too. Shoot that right hand down the pipe. And I think, again, Bagdasarian's maybe slightly too one-dimensional for him. So, and obviously, last thing I'll say, Silva fought Drew Dober, who's, I'm not going to say better than Bagdasarian, but has definitely fought the better competition.
Oh, and going up a weight class is wild.
Short notice, and now he's kind of coming back down. So I think that, to me, that says, hey, you're a fighting nerd. We love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to work your way up and keep winning and keep doing big stuff. So
we're knocking on an hour.
All right, Chad.
Co-main. All right. Co-main, we got a rematch, which I was not aware of. I don't remember them fighting in LFA for a championship. And I rewatched the whole fight. It was really Fluffy Hernandez, who I've become a huge fan of.
Yes.
Just doing what he does and pushing a pace and getting up in your grill and take you down and just smother you. Beat the hell out of you. You're fighting off subs. And of course, Brendan Allen's been pretty good on the ground. What we've seen. But the whole fight, it was kind of sloppy with both of them. They were falling off each other. They couldn't control each other. I don't necessarily think it was because either one of them was that great. I think it was just a little sloppy. They're young. Obviously, now both guys have been, sharpened their craft. They've gotten better over the years. But I still don't think that the rematch is going to be any different. If anything, I think it might be worse. I could see Fluffy coming out and finishing Brendan Allen.
Pull up Brendan for me real quick.
For Brendan's sake, it's a 3-round main event.
Yes.
Right, yeah, that's fantastic for him.
That does help out.
It's just, to me, this one, and I don't know how much more you got to say, but to me, this just comes down to they both have similar skill sets, but I think one guy can be broken a lot more than the other guy.
Yes, agreed. And I think, Fluffy just goes and goes, and you can't break him at all. Like, he just keeps coming. Eats punches and then gets in your face. And when you get tired, it's like blood in the water. He just knows.
Chumming it.
I love it. Just chums the water and just attacks.
Got knocked out by Kevin Holland.
Yeah, that was
only 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when he came into the UFC, people didn't think hardly anything of Fluffy Hernandez.
Right.
And then he submitted Vieira, black belt hunter.
The
subbed him.
Steroid son of a bitch.
Subbed him and then had 27 canceled fights and then went on a win streak. Man, he's had a bunch. I was talking about canceled fights and
that's
Bagdasarian.
Lots of
4, 5,
fights.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Well, 13 in the UFC.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've definitely fallen for become a huge fan.
You've fallen for him.
For
dude,
Fluffy?
who doesn't love Fluffy, dude? No, dude, just the way he is, the way he fights, I love it. He just keeps coming, and I think he's a beast. He definitely has that dog, like you said. I think definitely has that edge over Brendan, just because we've seen, especially in the last couple for Brendan, the Chris Curtis fight just looked like he wanted out of there. The body language was terrible. I know Chris Curtis ain't no slouch or anything like that, but still, he just hasn't looked like the Brendan we saw surging up when he was beating Paul Craig and all that. And Fluffy just has looked more dominant in his fights.
Dylan, main event.
Song Yadong versus Triple C.
Real quick, I will say, it was supposed to be the main event. It was supposed to be Font, Dominic Cruz.
Right.
It's better.
This is a better fight.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Triple C. He wants to wrestle. What was he? A 3-year layoff. Comes back. Takes Aljo to a split, which pretty wild.
3-year retirement.
3-year retirement.
Yeah.
Gets chubby even. Lets himself. He turns into a little chunker there for a minute. Comes back, takes fucking Aljo to a split. Then comes back again and gets. This is the worrisome fight for me. Gets handled by Merab at his own game. I don't know if it's because Henry's 38 now. Is he slowing down? Is he aging out, or is Merab just that much of an animal?
Well, a little bit of both probably, but Henry's just the wrestling doesn't seem to work as well. No.
It doesn't,
and that's probably partly due to age.
I think he's got solid hands as well. People forget about that.
That's probably a factor too.
Just cause, right. But then on the other hand, Song Yadong, who how many did he have in a row? Just the 2 there, and then he fought the return of Piotr Jan, who looked like Jan of.
It's pretty close, right?
5, 6.
It was a close fight.
Jan, that was the first fight where Jan actually
got back.
Looked kind of like himself again.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think this one will be a fun one. It just depends on what kind of Henry we get, I think. And maybe that Merab fight will be a little kick in the ass to
big physicality difference, or at least, if we're talking size
right
difference for sure.
How tall is Song? 5'8".
Yeah.
And he can crack.
Yeah.
And also 74% takedown D against a guy who we just said his wrestling isn't working as well. I think if Henry gets stuck on the feet with Song, he's in for a long night.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 rounds of it.
And neither of these guys will get tired. And if any of them do, it'll be Henry before Song, I think.
Yeah. Song's tough dude. He keeps going. I mean, if he gets wrestled a lot, he's going to get tired.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if it stays up on the feet, I think he could probably get it done. But it's tough to say with Triple C. Fought the best dudes in the world.
He has.
But
Song has
lost.
Right.
Yeah. But some killers. He had that layoff. He did take Aljo to literally needed 1 round to win.
I mean, a 3-year retirement, and then you take Aljo to a split.
It's impressive. Yeah.
And no one even thought he deserved that fight or anything. They're like, you've been gone forever. Now you're getting the shot again. And he's like, I almost won, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I think he proved that, hey, I'm still here.
Right.
And then obviously the Merab, but Merab's Merab.
Merab is Merab. That one's still disappointing though. That one's because that's where he was carrying him hey, look at me. I got fucking Henry on my shoulders.
No,
that's rough.
All in all, I mean, I'm sure the Seattle fans that bought tickets when this card was supposed to be the card it was supposed to be are a little disappointed, but I'd say overall, still a pretty decent card.
It's pretty solid.
All things considered.
It is just still blowing my mind that Julius' debut,
it's wild.
First fight of the main card.
Did we say 9 days notice? Did we mention that?
I did not know.
9 days notice.
That's wild.
So, all right, I'm going to hammer through these other events. There's a ton of other events this weekend, and I could say a lot about each one of them, but we're going to go pretty quick through these. One Championship 171 on Thursday.
In Qatar.
The return of Jonathan Haggerty. He just lost the featherweight Muay Thai belt.
Yeah.
But he's still the featherweight kickboxing champion.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fighting a
little loophole there.
Yeah, well,
I'll lose the Muay Thai, but I still
has
I can do the
27
thing where you
different belts.
Elbow.
Ru Wee, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but he's literally 1-0 in one championship, 0-1 MMA, overall.
Right.
So I don't know a ton about him, but we got the trilogy: Josh Paccio versus Jared Brooks. Jared Brooks was the champ last time out. Had beat Paccio before. Was the champ, and then spiked Paccio on his head and lost the belt via DQ. So now this is the trilogy. Other than that, I mean, Cade Rotolo, Ty Rotolo's brother, has a grappling match and won championship.
Mm-hmm.
And then last thing I'll say on this one, there's Ong Lawton Song, who is a former double champ. He's on here. That's one to look out for. And Roberto Soldic, but Bibiano Fernandez, who's been around forever, he's fighting Kevin Bellingham for the 5th time.
Jeez.
5th time they fought, and it's 3-1 Fernandez.
That's
So
some
they're
awesome-
not 2-2, but
That's some Austin Klim, Richard Mode type shit
Yeah.
there. No one will get that reference, but if Klim, you see this, that's funny.
What a pull.
KSW 102 in Liberec, Czech Republic, on Friday. Fury FC 102 on Friday. There's a fight on there that the toughest motherfucker belt is going down.
Oh, not the baddest.
No, toughest.
The toughest.
And real quick, one of the guys, Nate Richardson, back in 2021, lost a split decision to Fernando Padilla. Not a big deal. He's in the UFC.
Yeah.
Right after that, won a split decision for the Fury belt against Diego Lopez.
How do you do that?
That's so wild.
5-rounder against Diego Lopez, and he wins right after losing to Fernando
That's
Padilla.
crazy.
Also on Friday, Lux Fight League 50, Monterrey, Mexico. The heaviest fighters on this card, welterweights.
Ah.
LFA 102, also on Friday, Niagara Falls, New York.
202.
202, sorry. Flyweight main event, non-title fight, 8-0, Fumi Nakuda. Honestly, didn't go back and watch him, but if you're 8-0 in LFA, there's potentially a UFC written all over you.
Flyweight shallow. Be ready, big dog.
Yeah, first 8-2-1, Adrian and Garcia. Co-main event at bantamweight, Shuya Kamikubo versus 10-0 Bakhtovar Unisov, and Shuya 6-0 and 1 championship versus a guy who is coming out of the Khabib Nurmagomedov
Oh god.
Abdul Manap Nurmagomedov camp.
Oh god.
So, also, last thing on this card, Phil Latu.
Yeah.
Fought Navo Sterling. We kind of liked him.
Yes.
Kind of trailer park,
Yeah.
junkyard dog. type
He's
guy.
awesome.
He's on here.
Hell yeah.
Fighting a 4-fight Glory kickboxing vet.
Oh fuck.
Latu can strike though.
He
can box. UAE Warriors 58 Abu Dhabi on Saturday. Yeah, just 8-0 Amr Magomedov. I think he might also be a Khabib guy. I could be wrong about that. Fighting a 4-fight UFC vet, Alex Da Silva, 1-3 in the UFC.
They're taking the sport over. Except for Umar, he let the fam down.
Octagon 67, Czech Republic. I'm not going to go through this one too much, but they're doing a 16-man middleweight tournament over there
Holy
in
shit.
Octagon 67, which
Is it
is
gonna take,
not one night.
Oh, I know, but is it going to take
overall.
like 2 years?
Yeah.
Like
Holy
fuck.
shit.
I think they've had like 2 of the fights so far, and they got 2 on this card. Notable names: Andreas Michailidis, famously got flying kneed by Alex Pereira in the UFC.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
He's on here fighting actually Mark Holm.
The Greek guy, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Greek.
Yeah.
Mark Holm was on this last season of The Ultimate Fighter from South Africa. They're fighting each other, tournament fight for this middleweight tournament. Eternal MMA 93, Sydney, Australia. And then last one, UWC 55 Ultimate Warrior Championship in Tijuana, Mexico. You want to go?
Tijuana?
And the only thing I got here, main event, vacant flyweight title fight, women's flyweight title fight. Sandra Lovato is 0-1 in each of the 4 organizations: Dana White Contender Series, PFL, LFA, Invicta.
0-1
in all of them.
She's lost in every single one.
Unanimous decision in every one of them.
Damn.
Oh,
She's fighting for her
God.
fighting for the UWC flyweight belt.
She's getting a belt?
Title shot. It's vacant. She's making her big return.
Also, another shout out to Synergy.
Yeah, we got
Saturday.
We got a few local ones. Go ahead.
Shrine Mosque, Springfield Mo. Which hopefully, I mean, kind of becomes like what an LFA and a Shamrock is, you know, kind of a feeder.
They're starting to
They just got
they're starting to
their first prospect to come out of their organization.
I mean, dude, I can't shut up about like the skill that these amateurs are. I mean, it's pro-am, obviously, but even the amateur guys, coming up. The skill is insane now. Like, you watch First Fight Guys, and you're like, what?
How?
Another feeder group, Shamrock FC, Kansas City. I'm used to them being in St. Louis.
Yeah, it's at Ameristar, and I think that's what it's called in Kansas City. They got a couple kickboxing fights on that one, and then Extreme Fight Nights out of Tulsa. They do. I think they may do events. What's this casino between here and Tulsa?
Buffalo Run?
I think they may do events there too. This one's not there, but this one's actually in Tulsa. But all right, last but not least,
Gotta be doing this.
last segment. We'll go quick. I saw a post on Instagram. It had a bunch of unranked UFC lightweights, and I said, man, there is some really good unranked UFC lightweights.
Mm-hmm.
So let's make an eight-man tournament out of it. Chad, we'll start with you. Just say your first round matchups and who you got in the final and who wins.
First round matchups. Okay, I got my tech Oral By fighting Chase Hooper.
That's tough for Chase.
Yucky.
My other matchup, I got Mauricio Ruffy fighting Joel Alvarez.
That's a good one.
I think that would be a fun one. I have another one, Sadikov fighting Ziem.
I like that one.
That one would be fun. And then the other one is Ribovic versus Klein. And then you just want the winner of it all.
Who you got in the finals and who wins?
In the finals, I got Oral By versus Ruffy and Sadikov versus Ribovic. And then fighting in the championship, I have Sadikov versus Ruffy, with Sadikov being the winner
Of the whole thing.
of the whole thing.
Wow.
That's dumb.
Go ahead.
It's always dumb.
I got Mauricio Ruffy versus Bonfim. I got Nasrat Hakparast against Sadikov.
Keep in mind, Bonfim did just lose this past weekend.
He did. We'll be back, though.
Okay.
I got Rabisti versus Chase Hooper. Oral By, Ribovic. In the grand finale, got my boy Ruffy versus Oral By. Ruffy wins it all.
Okay. I surprised myself with who we got in the finals here.
I'm
But
surprised you have Oral By up there.
He's good. I hate to admit it. He's good.
Here's who so you guys didn't say who you didn't have, but I'll say mine real quick. Hooper, Hakparast, Bonfim, Guram, Tataladze, Chris Duncan, and Oral By. I didn't have any of them in it.
I didn't want to put Hooper in it, but the way he's improved his last few fights, I feel like
That's how
I
I
had to
felt.
give him a nod.
I
He just
just-
looked great.
Yeah.
I just made mine based off of the fights I would rather see.
More, yeah,
And-
same.
But
Yeah.
not who deserves it necessarily. But all right, first matchup, Ribovic versus Rabisti. We got to have the R's going at it there.
Yeah.
Ruffy versus Ignacio Bahamondes.
Okay.
Bahamondes, he might not be he might not be unranked for much longer after this, but Joel Alvarez versus Ludovic Klein, and then Nazem Sadikov versus Ziem, like Chad had. In the finals, I surprised myself with this one. Ribovic versus Ludovic Klein.
Really?
Where's Ruffy get beat?
Klein the winner.
Who beats Ruffy?
Bahamondes in the first round.
Insane.
Ignacio's huge.
Insane. I love Ruffy, dude.
I do too.
All right, any last thoughts on anything?
Negative. I think we covered an ass load.
All right, well, if you out there, listener, have any thoughts on any of this stuff, let us know. And we'll have our social medias linked in the bio. And we'll see you next time.
Peace.